Every decision is a deposit into your future. Every moment either builds you or buries you. People waste their lives believing that only the big moves matter, the major wins, the milestones, the breakthroughs. But greatness is never built from spectacle. It is carved quietly through the accumulation of ordinary acts done with extraordinary consistency. Each choice compounds like a drop of water that eventually carves stone. The truth is simple but brutal. Every time you take the easy path, you are training yourself to fail. Every time you choose discipline, you are investing in transformation. What you repeat becomes who you are. The smallest actions form the largest consequences. Nothing is neutral. Everything counts. The man who understands this law becomes dangerous because he no longer underestimates the weight of small moments. He knows that skipping one workout is not about missing exercise. It is about breaking a pattern of integrity. He knows that wasting one morning is not harmless. It is a message to the subconscious that effort is negotiable. Every habit, every thought, every decision creates momentum in one direction, progress or decay. The man who sees every act as sacred refuses to waste even one. He understands that energy compounds faster than money. The smallest deposits of focus multiply over time until the gap between him and others becomes unbridgeable. You cannot escape the mathematics of life. Every hour has a return on investment. Time rewards precision and punishes carelessness. When you live with awareness, you begin to see that each second spent with intention has exponential power. The undisciplined waste hours because they believe tomorrow will balance the equation. It never does. Time only compounds in one direction. The man who guards his attention like treasure becomes unstoppable. His progress appears supernatural because no one sees the micro decisions behind it. But the truth is mechanical. He simply made better deposits over time. The compound effect is not luck. It is accountability executed daily. Most people fail because they chase intensity instead of consistency. They want transformation in a week rather than mastery in a decade. They sprint for 2 days and collapse for 10. The man who understands compounding knows that slow, deliberate motion outpaces explosive effort. It is not about how fast you move. It is about how long you sustain it. Every day you show up, you build proof. That proof strengthens belief, and belief strengthens identity. Discipline becomes effortless because it is no longer about motivation. It is about alignment. Momentum replaces willpower. That is the quiet genius of compounding. It rewards patience and punishes arrogance. Small disciplines done daily create invisible progress. The human mind struggles to see value in the unseen. That's why most quit too early. They cannot feel the results yet. But the world operates on delay. Just as seeds take time to sprout, habits take time to reveal reward. There is a gap between effort and evidence. Those who endure the gap own the reward. The compound effect punishes those who need instant gratification. Every time you demand quick results, you break the very process that could have freed you. The wise endure in silence. They know that consistency compounds invisibly until one day the world calls it talent. The reason compounding is rare is because it demands humility. It asks you to keep going even when progress is invisible. It demands faith in unseen growth. Most people want results visible enough to brag about. But ego interrupts evolution. The disciplined man learns to love the grind because he understands that the invisible hours create visible power. While others chase validation, he builds foundation. The results of compounding are slow, then sudden. Years of patience collapse into moments of recognition. What looks like overnight success is years of repetition finally cashing in. Nothing sudden is sustainable. Only compounded effort stands the test of time. Clarity comes from repetition. Every time you act with purpose, you reinforce focus. The compound effect refines vision by removing noise. You no longer need to chase motivation when momentum itself becomes addictive. Your energy begins to feed back into itself. That feedback creates acceleration. You feel more centered, more capable, more aware. The smallest decisions begin to carry the weight of transformation. Even how you breathe, walk, or rest becomes intentional. That is the true form of mastery, not perfection, but awareness. Every moment becomes an opportunity to align your actions with your identity. The beauty of this law is that it never fails, only you do. The compound effect is impartial. It multiplies whatever you feed it. If you feed it distraction, you receive chaos. If you feed it discipline, you receive control. If you feed it apathy, you receive decay. That is why awareness is everything. Once you realize that every thought compounds, you stop entertaining self-doubt. Once you understand that every choice compounds, you stop negotiating with laziness. Progress and decline are both compound interest. The difference lies in direction. You cannot fake compounding. You either pay the daily price or you pay the eventual consequence. Discipline now or regret later. There is no third option. Every moment you waste compounds into distance, you'll later have to crawl back through. The man who understands this lives with precision. One day, and starts saying today. The small win becomes sacred. The routine becomes ritual. His life begins to accelerate while others stall in repetition of failure. The compound effect is not something you do. It's something you become. It is the identity of those who refuse to waste the present. Certainty is the comfort of the untested. It feels safe, but it kills evolution. The truth is that everything meaningful in life, growth, mastery, greatness, lives on the other side of uncertainty. You cannot control the path while trying to discover it. You must be willing to step into chaos before clarity appears. Most never do. They want guarantees before they move, applause before they act, confirmation before they believe. But that's not how transformation works. Progress only happens when you sign up for uncertainty willingly. It's not about recklessness, it's about courage. To choose uncertainty is to trust your own adaptability more than the illusion of control. Every man wants purpose, but few are willing to face what purpose demands. The path to meaning is forged in unpredictability. The reason most avoid uncertainty is because it exposes what they've been hiding: their indecision, their self-doubt, their reliance on comfort. Certainty gives the illusion of progress because it's predictable. You can measure it. You can control it. But predictability rarely produces anything worth remembering. Growth requires the unknown because it forces you to evolve. When you enter uncertainty, you discover what parts of you were lies. You strip away what cannot survive pressure and meet the raw truth of who you are. The human brain is wired to avoid risk. It seeks stability because stability meant survival in ancient times. But evolution demands that you override that wiring. The modern danger is not predators, it's stagnation. The new wilderness is psychological. You must train yourself to find excitement in uncertainty rather than fear. Every decision that scares you contains information about your next level. Comfort is the enemy of revelation. You cannot evolve in conditions designed for safety. You evolve when you willingly enter environments where you do not yet belong and build yourself into someone who does. The greatest architects of history were not certain. They were convicted. Conviction does not come from knowing. It comes from moving despite not knowing. You act because you believe, not because you are guaranteed. That's where courage earns its definition. Those who wait for assurance spend their lives in rehearsal. Those who move without it build empires. Uncertainty is not your enemy. It is your ally in disguise. It exposes the limits of your preparation and invites improvisation. That is where instinct sharpens and self-trust matures. You cannot master anything you refuse to risk for. Every time you choose uncertainty, you train resilience. You learn to operate without the crutch of external stability. You stop chasing outcomes and start mastering adaptability. The ability to thrive in chaos is the ultimate competitive advantage, because chaos is the only constant. While others freeze at the first sign of disruption, you move fluidly. You have rehearsed discomfort. You have built identity around endurance. That is what separates builders from talkers. You stop needing guarantees because you've become the guarantee. That shift is liberation. The moment you realize you no longer need life to be easy because you have become unbreakable. Uncertainty strips away illusion. It removes the scaffolding of false identity built on approval, ego, or security. When you enter the unknown, you lose what's artificial. You see who you are without titles, without recognition, without external structure. That is why uncertainty terrifies so many. It confronts them with themselves. But that confrontation is necessary. Without it, you remain a copy of what others expect you to be. The unknown purifies you. It removes the noise until only your essence remains. Every trial, every loss, every unpredictable turn is refining you for the version of life you were built to lead. To sign up for uncertainty is to sign up for mastery. The path of the craftsman, the entrepreneur, the creator, all are forged through failure. Failure is simply feedback, and feedback is data. The faster you move through uncertainty, the faster you gather data, refine strategy, and evolve. Most avoid uncertainty because they cannot tolerate ambiguity, but those who can live within it without needing answers rise beyond average. The unknown becomes their laboratory. They learn to dance with disorder instead of fearing it. Every mistake becomes material. Every setback becomes momentum. There is a freedom that only exists when you stop needing predictability. When you let go of the need for control, you unlock power. You stop wasting energy on what you cannot manipulate and redirect it toward creation. You begin to realize that stability was never meant to come from the world. It was meant to come from within. The man who trusts himself in uncertainty becomes unstoppable because his peace no longer depends on circumstance. He is grounded in motion, not stillness. That is what it means to walk with purpose through chaos. The reason so many never find peace is because they confuse peace with certainty. They think life will settle once they have answers. But life never settles, it expands. The only real peace is found in confidence that whatever happens, you can handle it. That confidence comes from action, not analysis. You cannot meditate your way out of fear. You must move through it until it dissolves. Each time you confront the unknown, you reinforce the truth that fear was never a wall, only a mirror. Uncertainty is not punishment. It is opportunity in disguise.